Hey everybody, it's me again, Dom G, back for another tutorial, and today we are going to be working in Adobe Illustrator for this day of 31 days of Dom, so I hope you're pretty excited to do this because I am. So with this tutorial, I will be showing you guys how to make some really cool dynamic lines in Adobe Illustrator. This is just a really cool technique, especially when it comes to anything with audio, because this is the type of things that you'll see with like music visualizers and things of that nature. You're going to see these types of dynamic lines. So if you like the combination of visual design and music, this is going to be the perfect combination of the two. I'm going to stop talking like I always do and just get right into this tutorial. So first what you're going to do is open Adobe Illustrator. This is the dynamic lines that I've created already. Just want to show you guys what we're kind of aiming for in this tutorial. So once you have Adobe Illustrator open, you're going to start a new file, and it can be of any size that you desire. I'm going to use the regular size document that Adobe Illustrator provides, and I'm going to use the landscape version of that. So right off the bat, you want to come over and make a new layer. Name your first layer background, and then your second layer lines, okay? Because we have to make a background in order for the lines to be really there, vibrant and present. So just go ahead and lock the first layer. I always lock the layer I'm not working on just so that I don't accidentally end up making something on that one, because that can be a little irritating when you're working on projects. So next you want to come over to the side panel and use the rectangle tool and make a full rectangle there. So once you have that square done, you're going to come over to the panel and find your gradient tool. Mine is in combination with my mesh tool, but it might be different for you. And if you are having a hard time finding it, just come down to these three dots right here. It says Edit Toolbar. Then come under Paint and highlight the gradient tool. It will either tell you where it's located or it'll be white like the other ones and give you the option to drag it onto your toolbar. So once you have the gradient tool selected, come up to Window and then click on Gradient so that the gradient panel will pop up. Now, as you can see here, we're able to edit the gradient, but we can't really see the effects of that. And just come over to the left-hand side and double check your swatches. If you see the gradient on the lower square, hit the little switchy button and make it go to the first square, and then you'll see the gradients right there. So now that we're here, you're just going to pick the colors that you want to use. Of course, for me, I am going to do a dark brown to a light brown gradient. And as you can see, let me move that back over, do that. Okay, so now as you can see, I have my gradient right here. If you're comfortable with the color choice that you have made and the gradient that you made, awesome. Come back over to the type of gradient and the gradient panel and do radial, so that we kind of get this effect right here. For me, I am just going to drag mine out a little. Okay, so cool. We have our background pretty much complete. So just go back to your layers, lock the background layer, and select the lines. Make sure on the upper layer now and your bottom layer is locked. We're going to come over to the rectangles or any of the shapes and make sure we just grab that line segment tool. I'm going to make my lines white so that we can see them. I highly suggest making your lines white as well, so that you can see it while we're creating, and of course you can change the color of the lines at the end. So we're just going to do this. We're going to make a line over top. You can hold down the shift key to make sure that your lines are absolutely straightened out. And select my colors again just with the switch that. Alright, cool. So we have this line going right here, right? And it would be a lot. It would be a lot if we have to just copy and paste over and over and over, getting line toes all the way down the page. So I'm going to show you guys a quick shortcut around that. So you're going to select the shape and then come up to Effect and then do Transform. So when we do Transform, of course, obviously I did this earlier, so like my settings are still there, but make sure Preview is checked off at the bottom. And the only thing that will be changing is here, the vertical to 10, and then the copies. So I have 72 copies on mine, but my canvas is much smaller than that, so I'm just going to change it to 60 and see what we get. So that's a little bit better. I'm cool with 60, that works for me. Do as many lines as you need to do to fill up the page. So once you have those settings good to go, you're going to hit OK. So now I'm going to go back to Object, come down to Envelope, Distort, because this is how we're going to start manipulating those lines, and do Make with Mesh. Make sure your rows and columns are at 1 because that's all we need for right now. So with the Direct Selection tool selected, you're going to highlight the anchor in the top left corner. You have to look really closely because you'll see, ooh, I can't even find it. So you'll see once you highlight that left corner, you're going to see another handle right here, but you have to look really close. So once you see that handle, you're going to drag it all the way up to where it's almost at the anchor, but not quite. And you see how it automatically shifted our design a little bit, so we're already getting some sort of distortion effect. You're going to do the same thing on the right hand side. So highlight that corner, find the handle, and bring it up to where it's almost at the anchor. So we're going to see this right here. It's giving like a more stacked effect at the top, which is what we want to see. All right, so now that we've done that part, we're going to select both of the anchors at the same time. We're going to select both of the anchors at the same time. So we just highlight like that, grab either end and just pull it down to the center. So it's right there. So now we're here. We are chucking and moving along, okay? So now you're going to move over to the Mesh tool on the left-hand side, and we are going to make a grid. So all you're going to do is just add points. This is completely up to you how many points you would like to add. I'm just making a basic grid, not very even, but even enough for me. So then all you have to do is take these anchor points and move them around. Once you move them, you're going to start getting that effect, but you want to be intentional about your moves. Once you have your ideal type of wave done, all you're going to do is select everything, so all those lines, go to Object, and then you want to go all the way to Expand, and make sure Object and Fill is checked off, and hit OK. So this is where we're going to be able to change the colors. So now that we have that selected, we can come to Stroke and change how that looks. So now I have this effect, right? You can change to any color. If you want to have multiple different colors, you can, because after we expanded it, it allows us to click each individual line, which we could not do before. So it's completely up to you, but this is pretty much the gist of how to do this design technique. It's honestly lovely for so many different types of things. It doesn't have to just be for, flyers. It could be for animation work or anything like that. It's awesome. It looks super, super cool. It's super unique. So I really hope this helped you out a lot. Thank you once again, as always, for sitting down and listening to me ramble, especially during 31 Days of Dom, because this is back to back to back to back. And I know y'all not tired of me yet. But I'm gonna have new content up soon because it is 31 Days of Dom. So don't forget to follow me on all social media platforms so that you can keep tabs on what I'm doing to improve your skills. So Once again, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and just learning as much as possible. And I'll see y'all again tomorrow.